Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Om Sri Mahaganapataye Namaha Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Asmat Gurubhyo Namaha Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Guru Atmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshina Namah Om Shri Medha Dakshinamurti Swamine Namaha Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavatam Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarchinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambatvam Anusandhadami Bhagavat Gite Bhavadveshinim Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutah Stunvanti Divyaistavaihi Vedai Sankavadakramo Panishadehi Gayanti Yam Samagaha Dhyanavastita Dadgatena Manasam Pashyanti Yam Yoginaha Yasyantanna Vidhussudha Suraganaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha. Namaste once again, everyone.
Namaste, Guruji.
Namaste. So, Bhagavan Krishna is now discussing the Jnana Phalam, the benefits of self-knowledge. After mentioning the threefold Jnana Phalam, which are the Mohanashaha, Aikya Darshanam, and Papa Nashaha, in this sloka that we are discussing, he is discussing the fourth benefit, namely Sarva Karma Nashaha or Sarva Karma Phala Nashaha, which means all Sanchita and Agami Punya Papas are destroyed. Even Prarabdha Karma, though continues to produce its results till of course the physical body falls, Jnanam acts as an insulation against the adverse effects of Prarabdha. So this is the sloka that we are looking at. The fourth Jnana Phalam. Yataidhamsi samigno samiddhognihi Vasmasat kuruterjuna Jnanagni sarva karmani Vasmasat kurute thatha. So we were looking at this sloka. And Krishna gives an example to convey this idea. In that example, knowledge is compared to a huge conflagration of fire. Knowledge is compared to Agnihi, not in the form of a small flame like a lamp or anything, but a huge fire. Like, we have these forest fires, etc. And all the karmas are compared to all types of fuel like wood, etc., used to light and kindle the fire. Just as in a very well kindled big fire, all types of wood, trees, etc., are burnt immediately without any trace. Similarly, all the karmas are burned down to ashes by the powerful and well kindled Jnana Agni. The message here is that the benefits of Vedanta study will accrue only when one approaches the study in a systematic manner and study with the help of a Shastra, with the help of the Shastra and the Guru. And the Guru also should be from the teaching parampara. And this learning should be there consistently for a length of time. Self-knowledge, though, is the knowledge about our intimate self, our real self. But since for crores of births, we are not aware of this real self, therefore, it will take a disciplined approach to imbibe the knowledge and abide in it. And this is the problem most of the students face. When they are exposed to this knowledge, Vedanta study or Bhagavad Gita study, under a guru like Swamiji, Puja Swamiji or Swami Paramathananda, etc., initially we may gain some knowledge. And we will think, oh, this is very wonderful, great. I know everything about Vedanta. But we must note that at that stage, that knowledge will be like a very small flame. As they say, half knowledge is a dangerous thing. Or there may be some students who may go to a guru and he pounds them with this self-knowledge, Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma, etc. They may find that they are not understanding anything. So they may go for guru shopping or gurukula shopping, hopping from one acharya to another, hopping from one gurukulam to another, reading multitude of books, etc., etc., which will only add to the confusion already caused by the limited knowledge gained. Therefore, until the knowledge stabilizes, one has to continue to study from a particular acharya or a particular parampara. When any doubt comes and you clarify, the fire becomes well kindled. Once you are totally convinced about the Vedanta knowledge, thereafter you read any book, listen to any talks, it will not be a problem because you would have got the full context in which a particular subject is said and you will be able to understand it properly. It will not create any doubt at all. Otherwise, everything will appear to be right also and everything will appear to be wrong also. All because of the confusion and incomplete understanding. Therefore, he says, Samiddaha Agnihi, well kindled by Shravana Manana Nididhyasanam. In the same way, Jnana Agnihi, the well kindled fire of knowledge, Sarva Karmani Bhasmasat Kurute, it destroys all karma. Bhasmasat Kurute means literally reduces them to ashes. So, in the previous verse, Krishna talked about Sarva Papa Nasha. And in this verse, Krishna says Sarva Karma Nasha. Now the question is, what is the difference between Papa Nasha and Karma Nasha? Because Papam also is karma only. Karmas are divided into two, Papa Karmas, Punya Karmas. So Papam also is a karma. What is Papam? Papam is nothing but our own adharmic action in the past or in the present. Suppose one says, I will be very careful from now onwards. I will not indulge in any adharmic actions, but do only dharmic actions and earn lots of punya. Very good. That's all fine. And because of the huge talk of punya, one may get elevated to enjoyable Swarga Loka with all its perks and benefits. One will not get old in Swarga Loka. Whatever you wish, you will get. There will be no dukkham at all. Healthy life. All that is very good because the huge package of punya that you are carrying is giving you all that. But unfortunately, having enjoyed the Swarga Loka very well, when the stock of punyam is exhausted, what happens? Kshine punye martya lokam vishanti, says Krishna. So back to bhuloka, back to samsara, back to karma, back to punya papam. Now the question is whether punyam is sukha hetu or dukkha hetu. Whether punyam is the cause of happiness or sorrow. See, this is how Vedanta thinking one has to. Many things we take it for granted. If I earn a lot of punyam, I will be always happy. Right? Now Vedanta questions, is that a true statement? Let us analyze it. What Vedanta says is, Papam gives sorrow in the short run and Punyam gives sorrow in the long run. Therefore, according to Vedanta, Punyam is also a bondage, bandha hai. And that is why Mundaka Upanishad says, Tada vidwan punya pape vidhuya niranjana paramam samya upaiti, samyam upaiti. And that is why, a jnani goes beyond punyam and papa. So we should not be under the impression that punya means happiness always. Long run, for a long period of time, happiness may be there. Eventually, sorrow will come because you are back to samsara. And in Gita itself, we will see in the 18th chapter, last chapter, he will say, Krishna says, Sarva dharman parityajya amekam sharanam braja. Sarva dharman, dharma as well as adharma, parityajya, having given up, having transcended. That is the stage of a jnani. A jnani has transcended both dharma and adharma. In Kathopanishad also, Nachiketa asks Yamaraja for a knowledge. What is that knowledge? He defines. What is there? The Yamadharma Raja, Anyatra Dharmat, Anyatra Adharmat, Anyatra Asmat Krita Kritat. So moksha is beyond punyam and papam. And therefore, Jnana Agnihi Sarva Karmani means Papa Karmani, Punya Karmani api Basmasat Kurute. So the word Sarva Karmani and Sarva Papa, this is the difference. When Krishna says, first he said Sarva Papa Nasha. Good. All papas are gone. But what about the punyas which are there balance in the account? Those punyas are also going to give you sorrow, grief in the long run. Therefore, you have to transcend the punya also. You have to remove the punya also. They also have to be burned. Sanchita punyas and agami punya. The prarabdha punya, nothing can be done because it already started. But as I said, for prarabdha punya papa results, Jnanam acts as an insulation, especially for Papa. Papa will give sorrow, grief, etc., pain. Jnanam will act as an insulation against that pain. Therefore, both Punyam and Papam are completely destroyed in the fire of knowledge. This is the message of this sloka. Now, in the next sloka, Krishna again glorifies this knowledge. He has now talked about Jnana Phalam, 4 Jnana Phalam he has told. Now he comes back to glorifying the knowledge. We will read the sloka. 38th sloka. Nahi jnanena sadrisham pavitramiha vidyate tatsvayam yoga samsiddha kalenatmani vindati. Anvaya is Hi vidyate na pavitram iha sadrisham jnanena yoga samsiddha vindati tat. We can supply jnanam atmani swayam kalena. He indeed vidyate na pavitram. There is no other purifier iha in this world. Jnanena sadrisham, like knowledge. Yoga samsiddha, the one person prepared through yoga, vindati, attains, tat jnanam, that knowledge, atmani, in the mind, swayam kalena, easily in due course of time. This is the word meaning. What he says, indeed, there is no other purifier in this world like knowledge. Prepared to yoga, one attains that knowledge in the mind easily in due course of time. Because there are many purifiers. Fire is a purifier. Water is a purifier. Air is a purifier. So, there are so many purifiers. But knowledge, he says, is the best purifier. There is no purifier like knowledge. That is what he wants to say here. To glorify the knowledge, to show us all the importance of knowledge, and also to motivate us to gain that knowledge. Because there are 3 stages of purification. In fact, I would say 2 stages, but we can add the 3rd stage also. First is purifying your physical body, which we do every day. Second is purifying the mind, which is karma yoga. But when you purify the body or when you purify the mind, there is always a risk of impurities coming back again. Karma yoga, you will have to hold on to karma yoga. Once having purified the mind, you will have to hold on to karma yoga sadhanas for continued purity. The moment you loosen the grip, there is a possibility of impurity to come. And that is why after karma yoga, you must want immediately jump to jnana yoga. Continuing with karma yoga, you must pursue jnana yoga simultaneously, so that when jnana yoga completely settles down, that jnanam will then completely purify everything. No impurities. What are the impurities? We have seen many times, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya will never come back. And that is why he is now glorifying knowledge. So with the previous verse, as I said, Jnana Phalam topic is over. Sarva Moha Nasha, Aikya Darshanam, Sarva Papa Nasha, and Sarva Punyasya api Papasya Nasha. So all four phalams, fourfold phalams, has talked about. Of course, this is not exhaustive list of the Jnana Phalams. There are different other phalams are given in other contexts, in other places also. Now, Krishna wants to conclude this discourse in these following verses, 38 to 42, 5 verses, in which he wants to talk about certain sadhana, certain do's and don'ts. And in the first line of this verse, he sets down the background, talks about the greatness of knowledge. Jnanena sadrisham pavitram iha nasti. There is no purifier which is as great as knowledge. No doubt there are other purifiers, like people say, go have a Ganga Snanam, it will remove all your papa. Then there are prayaschitta karmas. Perform prayaschitta karmas to remove some of the papas. Like, we have got the Yajurupa karma, what we call Avaniyavattam. Sandhya Vandanam itself is a prayaschitta karma. Maharudram, Atirudram. All these are all called Pavitram, purifiers. They will all come under Karma Yoga heading. Even Nama Japa is also considered to be a purifier. That is why they say in old age, keep on repeating Rama Rama, Krishna Krishna and all that. Nama Japa. For whatever balance period that you have to live in this world, try to, as much as possible, purify, remove all the papams as much as possible. Nama Japa is one of such purifiers. Therefore, there are so many purifiers in the world, but among all of them, among all the purifiers, Jnanam alone is the greatest purifier. Now, when that is said, our question is, why is it said like that? The reason is, we must go to the core of the issue. All other purifiers can destroy all types of papams or impurities, but they cannot destroy one basic impurity, because of which only all the impurities are byproducts, which we can call in Vedanta's original sin. Christianity also, they have got this concept of original sin. But according to Vedanta, we have got another type of original sin, and that is called Avidya, Ajnanam, ignorance of the real nature of the self. Therefore, avidya is the basic impurity from which flows all other impurities. Now, all other prayaschitta karmas are all purifiers. They may destroy varieties of impurities like go hatya, brahma hatya, this hatya, that hatya, suvarnasteyam, surapanam, uchishtam, abhojyam, all that, all these papams, they will remove. Stealing, swarnasteyam means stealing, surapanam, consuming alcohol, uchishtam. What is uchishtam? Food once eaten should not be eaten again. It's a papam according to Shastra. These days, every day, everybody, every family is doing that only. Cook in the morning, eat, then balance what is left, keep it in the fridge, and night you eat. And they will ask, it is not spoiled, so what is the problem? No problem. Maybe there is a problem, maybe there is not, because nobody has seen if a food, normally according to Ayurveda, it is said that the nutrients in the food are retained only up to 3 to 4 hours after cooking. After that, the nutrients vanish from the food. And that's why they say that you must eat within 3 to 4 hours of cooking. And that reminder, whatever is remaining after eating is called uchishtam. The reminder that is not supposed to be eaten. That's why many Vaidika people, they will not eat what is cooked in the morning at night. They will not eat what is cooked today, tomorrow. They will not do that. Every time fresh food within 4 hours they will consume. Then only you are actually serving your body all the nutrients which the body requires. Then only it goes. Otherwise, the food is there for looks. The food is the same. We can eat it. What it will do? It will only fill the stomach. It will not give you any benefit in terms of nutrients. Then what happens? After a prolonged time of doing this, you get different diseases. And you say, no, I don't know why this disease has come to me. It is not just like the habits like smoking, drinking alone are cause of diseases. They are positive cause of diseases. There are negative causes. Absence of nutritional food is a cause of disease. So, uchishtam, abhojyam, that which should not be eaten, you eat. That is also a papam. Papam means what? They are all will lead to some discomfort, sorrow, grief, upset stomach, headache. So, by doing proper prayaschitta karmas, etc., these papams can be removed. But they cannot remove ajnanam. Ganga snanam cannot remove ajnanam. Because if Ganga snanam can remove the ajnanam, I don't need to conduct these classes. Just one class, I tell you, all of you, okay? Let us all go to Haridwar, Rishikesh. Let us say for 1 week Ganga snanam, daily Ganga snanam, ajnanam is gone. You are all jnanis now. Can give a certificate. So and so is a jnani, certified jnani. Then you will all get instant moksha just by having a Ganga snanam. But that is not possible. So, river Ganga Snanam can remove other impurities, but Ganga Snanam alone will not remove the impurity of Ajnanam, Avidya. and which has been continuing for me anadikala from beginningless times. But I don't remember the text. There is a sloka. Malanirmochanam pumsam jalasnanam dine dine sakrita gitambasi snanam samsara maranashanam. And there is one more saying, Gita gangodakam pitva punarjanmana vidyate. Therefore, while all other prayaschitta, Ganga Snanam, other waters can purify certain papas, or most of the papas, let us assume, Gita waters alone can permanently remove samsara. Gita Jnana waters. All other sacred waters can remove certain papam, but they cannot remove ajnanam, the basic impurity. And therefore he says, Nahi jnanena sadrisham pavitram. There is no purifier equivalent to knowledge. And who will get this knowledge? Now he switches to the sadhana topic. He says, Yoga samsiddha kalen atmani vindati. Samsiddha means a qualified person, a prepared person, a refined person, a cultured person who has prepared himself through karma yoga, practice of karma yoga for a long period of time. He has prepared himself for the knowledge seed to sprout into the moksha tree to give the ananda phala. Just because before sowing any seed, a farmer prepares the land. And not only land should be prepared, there should be proper temperature. If any fertilizer is required, that should be there. Water content will be exactly as it is needed. Different types of crops require different conditions. All those are required. Similarly, for Atma Jnana seed to grow, mind must be prepared. And one who has prepared the mind for Atma Jnanam is called Samsiddha Purusha. Now, how does one prepare? We all know that answer. For cultivation of land, we know land has to be tilled, irrigated, etc. For the cultivation of the mind, what is to be done? Method is, he says, yoga. Here the word yoga refers to twofold sadhanas. Which are they? Karma yoga and Ashtanga yoga. Or you can say Karma yoga and Upasana yoga. Simply said, one should have led a religious way of life for a length of time. In fact, our Vedic religion prescribes only that life which will prepare us for self-knowledge. All scriptures, whether Yoga Shastra you take Upasana Yoga, everything, they are all preparatory, right from Brahmacharya stage. Karma Yoga, when you start doing your Sandhya Vandana karma, Samita Dhana karma, after marriage, you continue doing with Upasana, other Agni karmas, etc. All are preparing us only for this final stage, Jnana Yoga. And that is why Shastra says, everybody is in the spiritual path only. Once you have understood that this is the aim, then you will actually avoid all other unnecessary actions, unnecessary karmas, develop the required attitudes and focus on the final goal. In fact, Veda does not even ask us whether we want self-knowledge or not. Because Veda says there is no other option for you. Veda as the mother, Veda Mata, has decided what is good for us is self-knowledge. And Veda has decided that we have to prepare the mind. And Veda has prescribed a lifestyle meant for spiritual growth. This is the uniqueness of the Vedic culture. Vedic culture is meant for spiritual. Entire Purva Bhaga of Vedas is all meant for spiritual growth. But in order to engage people in that, some incentives in terms of some material benefits also have been added to that, those karmas. Therefore, we cannot say Veda or Vedanta, they ignore material growth. But through material growth, Veda keeps in mind the spiritual growth of also of a person. Therefore, we need not go into a research into the principles or mechanism behind our way of life. Just follow the Vedic way of life. And in the Kali Yuga context, to the maximum extent possible, Vedic way of life is meant for inner growth alone. And that is called yoga here. So yoga samsiddha means the one whose mind is prepared through a religious way of life, which takes care of physical health, which takes care of emotional health, which takes care of moral health, which takes care of intellectual health, and which takes care eventually of spiritual health also. It is an integrated system. To put it in Vedic language, Yoga Samsiddha of Bhagavad Gita means Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampanna of Tattva Bodha. That jnanam, that person, that Yoga Samsiddha, jnanam vindati, he will attain this knowledge. And therefore, you just walk into a Vedanta class from a film theater, you watch the movie, and there is a class, Vedanta, Bhagavad Gita class. After engaging your mind in that movie with all sorts of violence, romance, I don't want to further go into it. These days, movies, you all know what are the contents. Having made your mind impure, you come to Vedanta, na vindati jnanam, na vindati, nothing will happen. In fact, sitting in Vedanta class, you will be still thinking about that movie or probably singing, at least remembering some of the songs of the movies. Therefore, it's a prerequisite for Vedanta. You must have a very disciplined religious life. And that is why, even for admission in the Gurukulam, it's not just as you apply and you will get selected and you can join the Gurukulam. Even though you may be prepared to sacrifice a lot of things for staying 3.5 years in that residential course with minimum facilities, but that is no guarantee that you will be given admission. Swamijis and all, they put you through they first try to find out what has been your way of life. What is the life that you are leading? Are you at least sufficiently prepared, if not fully prepared, sufficiently prepared for Vedanta teaching, for Vedanta learning? Therefore, yoga samsiddha. And where will he attain this knowledge? He says, Atmani. Here the word Atmani does not mean Sachidananda Atma. It means a pure mind. Because any knowledge has to take place in the mind only, including spiritual knowledge. No knowledge can take place in the Atma. Atma is never the locus of knowledge. No knowledge can take place in the physical body. So, every knowledge has to take place in the manaha, in buddhi alone. And therefore, Atmani, Sukshma Buddhau, Shuddha Buddhau, this person gains this knowledge. Then the standard question, how long it will take? Because we also always want to know, whenever we get into something, we want to know how long this is going to happen. When somebody asks me, how long will Viveka Chudamani class last? Of course, as an Acharya, I have to give an answer. But how does it matter? Because whenever we ask how long, there is only one circumstance I can visualize. Suppose you are gone to a movie or you are watching a drama. It's very boring. Somebody is talking, giving a lecture, very boring. Then the question will come, how long is this? Am I required to sit here? How long is this going to last? That's the only circumstance there in which this how long question will arise. But Krishna being a compassionate person, compassionate jnani, he does not want to evade the question also. But at the same time, he does not want to commit. Say that so many years, like a course, I mean, if you're an undergraduate, you can say it will take 3 years or 4 years. MA, etc., 2 years. When you come to PhD, can you say how long it is going to take? You can never say. You can only say minimum this much, maximum open-ended. Till you are able to complete your thesis, present it, and then get your degree. Similarly, this chartered accountancy examination. If you ask a student, how long is this going to take? He will not be able to give you an answer. How many attempts he will take to pass the examination, he will say God alone knows. How many attempts it will take to clear the CA final, only God knows. And therefore, Krishna very carefully says, Kalena Vindati. How long it will take? Kalena Vindati. In due course of time, he will attain. So what Krishna wants to say is, do not ask the question how long it will take. Enjoy the journey of learning, asking the questions. Instead of asking how long it will take. How many more kilometers to go? Just keep going and enjoy the journey. The more you enjoy the journey, the more you imbibe the learning, you will reach your destination before long. Says Krishna. Now again, question will be, all that is fine, Krishna, but give me some indication. Krishna says, it is in your hands. And he gives the next set of advice. Another 3 sadhanas he talks about. We'll read the sloka. Shraddhavan labhate jnanam tatparas sanyatendriyah jnanam labdhva param shantim achirena digacchati. Anvaya of the sloka is Shraddhavan tatparah Sanyata indriyaha labate jnanam. Jnanam labdhva achirena adhigacchati param shantim. Shraddhava, one who has got faith. Tatparaha, one who is sincere, one who is devoted. Sanyatendriyaha, one whose sense organs are restrained, well managed. Labate jnanam, attains knowledge. Then jnanam labdhva, having attained the knowledge, achirena adhigacchati, he will soon attain param shantim, supreme peace. So this is the fifth benefit of knowledge Krishna talks about in this sloka. What is that? Param shantim, supreme peace, which is what is called moksha. So one who has faith, one who is sincere and devoted, and one whose organs are restrained, well managed, attains this knowledge. And having attained the knowledge, he will soon attain supreme peace. So in the previous sloka, he talked about one sadhana, yoga. Well, yoga itself is a very, very broad name for lot of sadhanas. And that is why Swami Paramarthananda says, in short, we can call it religious way of life. And as I said, it is impossible to discuss all the benefits of religious way of life. They are innumerable. A religious way of life, if truly led, will make one person very humble. Because karma yoga makes you humble, makes you see yourself as a tiny, even tiny is also a very big word, tiniest entity in this entire cosmic world. So karma yoga, that attitude that I am a very small bit in this cosmic world, makes you shed your ego a lot. Dvaitam is still there. You are still considering yourself separate from the cosmos. That's fine. Dvaitam can continue till the time you get the jnanam, till you imbibe Mahavakyam Aham Brahmasmi. So a religious way of life, as I said, one needs to follow as much as possible. So the one word yoga means that, which was talked about in the previous sloka. Now the second sadhana that is prescribed in the sloka is Shraddha, faith. Faith means what? Shraddha means faith not in the words of the scriptures, faith in the validity of the scriptures. Even if we do not clearly understand what is written in the scriptures, there is a need in the initial stages to have Shraddha in the scriptures, that they are valid, they are beneficial, and the scriptures will not say anything which is inimical to mankind. Therefore, even if I got a doubt, in the validity of the scriptures, even if I am not able to understand and appreciate the message of the scriptures, in the initial stages, we have to keep that doubt, etc., aside and continue to listen or study. In fact, many times as we continue to study, many of our doubts which we initially had would have got cleared. And that's why Swami Paramathananda gives a very beautiful system, beautiful method for gaining doubt-free knowledge during the learning process. He says, whenever a doubt arises, you note it down in a notebook and do not attempt to get it clarified immediately. Because if you go to clarify immediately, what will happen? From the clarification, another doubt may arise. So that will become continuously like a chain, I mean, that's a cycle, one doubt, another doubt, from that another doubt. Initial doubt will, will get more complicated. So what he says is, note down all your doubts, questions, etc. Listen, continue to listen to the teaching. During the course of study itself, many doubts would get cleared. And periodically, once a doubt is cleared, you're convinced, score of that question in your notebook. Periodically, let's say once in 3 months or so, review the notebook questions. And if some doubts are there which remain for a considerable period of time, seek help from the Guru to clear those doubts. So he says, and I also agree with him, one of the best methods to gain doubt-free knowledge and get convinced about Shastra teaching. In fact, things, our Acharyas have made things so simple for a sincere, committed learner. We have got a series of textbooks called Siddhi Granthas. They are meant exclusively for raising questions and answering them. Therefore, even if you do not know how to raise a question, the Siddhi Granthas will show you what all questions one can raise. All fundamental questions they will teach you. And almost in all instances, we would find that the doubt has arisen because we have not understood the Shastra clearly, and not because there is an issue or there is a confusion in the scriptures. Therefore, let me not reject the teaching. Let me first question my understanding rather than the scriptures. This attitude is called Shraddha, not blind swallowing, but questioning and understanding. And such a person is called Shraddhavan. So he says, Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. Such a person will definitely get the conviction. He will definitely get the knowledge. And this is the experience of every Vedantic student, every Vedantic Acharya. Because in the world that we live in, a lot of confusion is caused not only from other religions, people belonging to other religions, but also the scientific community. Doubts are caused in many Vedantic principles. As we continue to study more and more and more, we study more Upanishads, etc., we will discover that Vedanta knowledge is comprehensive and is ready to face any latest development in science, in addition to all other systems of philosophy in the world. Advaita Vedanta is the only one which has got all answers for all questions, any type of questions. But one should first develop conviction in Vedanta teaching. For that, Shraddha is a precondition. Therefore, Shraddhavan labhate, jnanam labhate. So in short, what is Krishna saying is that when you study, even as you learn, if you have got any doubt, give the benefit of doubt to the scripture, to the Shastra. Like in cricket, LBW decisions. Golden rule is give the benefit of doubt to the batsman. If you are not sure whether he's out or not, give the benefit of doubt to the batsman. So this is point number 1. The next sadhana he gives in this sloka is tatparaha. Tatparaha, as I said, sincere, committed. What does that mean? You should cooperate with the teacher. One should not ask questions for the sake of asking questions. Most importantly, you should not disturb the flow of thoughts of the teacher while teaching by asking questions during the class. Reserve your questions and doubts after the class. A committed teacher will give ample time and opportunity to raise the questions and get all the clarifications that you need. Because for raising questions, what is important that you must first reflect on the teaching. So first you must try to understand what is taught. You must work on the teaching, and then only questions can appear. And the question should be relevant to what has been taught. After talking about Vedanta, if you raise a question like, why do we do Pradakshinam in a temple? It will not be relevant for what has been taught. And therefore, one should take notes while teaching is going on. This is no different. Just because you don't need to have a given examination does not mean that you must not note down what you are learning point by point. And with reference to those notes, those doubts which arise, you can raise those questions after the class is over. So first I should do homework, and that homework is called mananam. And I should attempt to find the answer based on the teaching that I have received. Without mananam, following the process, legitimate doubts cannot come. Either there would be no doubts, then also there will be no question. Everything is clear. Or you have not understood anything, then also there will be no question. Or there may be some funny doubts which has no connection with the subject matter. Therefore, tatparaha means sincerity is required for knowledge to take place. Commitment is required. Homework is required. Quality time is required. And that is called tatparatvam. And if that sincerity is not there, not that Gita will not give any benefit. Some stray ideas will come. At least you sometimes as you will get to listen to some nice jokes. But it would have nothing to do with the learning. It will not be a consistent system of learning. You may even get some miscellaneous information about karma yoga, ashtanga yoga, etc., pranayama. But the expected benefit will come only when a person is sincerely committed. And therefore, tatparatvam, sincerity and commitment is the second point. What is the third one? Sanyatendriyaha or Sanyata Indriyaha. Sanyatendriya means sensory discipline. We have talked about sensory discipline in various contexts. We have talked about in the same chapter earlier when we talked about various yajnas. So sensory discipline in Tattvabodha also we have talked about Dama, Shamaha and all that. So a sincere and committed student should develop sensory discipline. Focusing capacity should be developed. Even to listen to 1 hour of a talk requires a tremendous focusing capacity, and especially when it is a consistent, serious talk. If it is some story like Ramayana or Bhagavatam stories, etc., that's okay. You don't need, I mean, you can actually be free, allow the mind to go around to home, to food, etc. Even if you miss a part of the story, nothing will happen. But Vedanta teaching is a terse system of teaching in which there is development of thought from one topic to another. And if you miss the intermediary link, you will not get the connection at all. It is a science by itself, and therefore a person should have focusing capacity. Sanyatendriya. So we will talk more about this in the next class. Okay, stop here. Om Purnamada Purnamidham Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you all very much. Dhanyavadaha.
Thank you, Guruji. Namaskara, Dhanyavadalu.
Namaskaram. Namaskaram. Thank you.
Namaste, Guruji. Thank you.
Namaste. Thank you.
धन्यवाद
Thank you,
गुरुजी।
Guru.
Dhanyavadaha.
No,
Dhanyawad,
Namaskaram,
Guruji.
Guruji. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Happy Pongal to all.
Yeah, happy Pongal to all of you. We will meet up.
मंगल वार्षिकल।
Thank you.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you,
Oh,
Guruji.
Premaji, nice to see you after a long time.
Thank you, Guruji. Things are clearing up
Are
a
you
little bit.
keeping? Feeling much better now?
Yeah, things are clearing up slowly with my
Very good,
husband.
very good. Very glad to
So-
hear that. I'm glad to have you also back in the class.
I am in the class, but I listen
Okay.
only. I don't come. There are things that had to be done.
Okay.
Now I'm a little free.
Okay. Very good. Very good.
And it's my pleasure, Guruji, to come back to especially to get explanations of the Samsiddha Purushaha.
Yeah.
Really is very gratifying.
Yeah. Yeah. Understood.
Thank you.
Hariom. Thank you.
Hari
So
Om.
looks like no hands have gone up for any questions.
Guruji, I have one question.
Yeah.
Yeah. This following Vedic way of life, we will get material growth as well as spiritual growth. So these both should be considered as in parallel. Is it?
Both should be considered as
In
Parallel.
parallel. Both
parallel. You see,
parallel.
material growth is incidental or a byproduct of spiritual growth.
Mhm.
So you don't need to actually focus too much on material growth. It will happen automatically.
Automatically.
So, I mean, that is my personal experience. I'm telling you,
Mm.
as you continue in the religious life, whatever, one of we talk about success in life, right? And many people define success in various ways. One of the definitions I feel success is whatever you wanted to do from a materialistic point of view.
Mm.
That happens without any obstacles.
Mhm.
You achieve that. That,
Okay.
according to me, is success.
Yeah, correct.
And when you have actually been traveling on the religious path for a length of time,
Mm.
sincerity, commitment to whatever you do, whether even if it's an action done for purpose of some material gains. The same action, if you do with karma yoga attitude, it becomes a success.
Yeah.
So this is my experience, and that is what these scriptures also say. Material benefits, you need not even focus. Of course, when we are living in the world, we are living with family, etc. As a grihastha, it is a responsibility also to focus on material growth. So
Yeah,
our
that's
challenge
what.
is to find that nice balance between religious way of life and build in the material growth within that. Simply means what? For material growth, avoid all adharmic actions. What
Mhm.
is religious way of life? Follow dharma in every aspect of your life. That is a religious way of life.
Mhm.
And when you are following dharma, you will not do so many things which are prohibited, isn't it?
Mhm.
And so when you are following that, that doesn't require any special effort. And you focus on material growth, what to the extent you require, because material growth, again, one has to define what is material growth. Material growth is required for one's
Unlimited.
necessities. Material, I mean, earning, crores and crores of money and then hoarding that.
Mhm.
That is
Yeah,
not
there
the
should be
definition of
limit for that.
material
Yeah.
growth. Material growth does not mean you have got some big palaces and things like that. Material growth is, are you able to lead a comfortable life, stress-free life? I mean, most of the stress is from, monetary stress is the biggest stress anybody has. Poverty is a very big stress. Are you able to lead a comfortable life? Are you able to give a comfortable life to your family? That much. You need not worry about your children and all. They will grow up, they will earn their own money, they will take care of that. You need not hoard it for 7 generations, My
Yeah, yeah,
giving
true.
money. Whether it will remain
Yeah.
for 7 generations, we don't know also.
Mm.
So there is a balance we need to strike between religious life and material life. Material life should not be at the cost of religious life.
Mm.
At the same time, one should not become so religiously involved that you totally neglect the material life.
Mhm. Correct.
That is another big issue rather, right?
Mm.
Because many people say, I'm going to be very, very religious, and they will neglect all their family and things like that and all. That is also
Mm.
not correct. The
Correct.
Vedanta strikes a balance between the two.
Balance.
But at some stage, once you have earned enough, you have to retire, right?
Yeah.
From
Then
whatever.
you have to forego. Yeah.
That
Material.
time, focus more on religious growth rather than on material. After
Mm.
retirement, also, you are doing the same thing, going behind people for money. Then that is something which Vedanta says, this is not growth, but this is material avarice, greed.
Mhm.
Avoid that.
Indeed. Mm.
That is how it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Got it. Thank you, Guru.
Thank you. Hari Om. So no more questions, it seems. Premaji has raised the hand. Yes, Premaji.
Guruji, as you were talking about the integral yoga, you mentioned that yoga is a religious way of life, and you mentioned some granthas. I heard them as Siddhi or
Siddhi
Siddhi.
Grantha. Siddhi, I myself
What are
have
they?
not studied any Siddhi Granthas,
Mhm.
but there are such Siddhi Granthas which are mainly used for manana. Because many times when we are listening, we will not have any questions. It will appear as if it is very clear to us. But after some time, when we reflect on that, we will have some doubt. Now that that chapter would have been passed and things like that and all. So what the Siddhi Granthas they have done, some Acharyas have, they have said, okay, these are all the kinds of doubts one can get. So you keep it like a checklist. Did you get this doubt? Are you clear about this particular point? So what is it that you should imbibe? What is the knowledge? What do you mean by the content of that knowledge? Doubt-free knowledge you should imbibe. Once you put it through the filter of the Siddhi Grantha, then you will be convinced, okay, this I know, this I know, this I have got no doubt. In this point, I have got a doubt. Now, Siddhi Granthas also provide answers to that. But still, if you are not convinced, then with that question, you can approach the Guru. Instead of bombarding the Guru with all sorts of questions for, then Guru also will be happy because he will know, oh, this is a very, very important question which has been dealt with in the Siddhi Granthas also. This student has shown sincerity in doing that. It is my responsibility to help the student. So Guru also will take the student, as a real, very committed student. So that is there, but I have not come across myself Siddhi Granthas. In fact, I learnt about Siddhi Granthas only when I actually was listening to Swami Paramarthananda's lectures. But I don't know whether Siddhi Granthas, some samples will be available on the net. But Ramuji is here. Ramuji is, I call him the universal.
No, sorry.
He knows
Universal
everything, Guruji.
scriptural
No.
encyclopedia.
No.
Yeah.
Maybe Vichara Sagara, Advaita Siddhi, something,
There
Siddham.
may be, there may be the
I don't know.
Granthas.
I don't know.
Yeah, possible. So,
Jaykumarji may be able to say.
yeah, we can probably Jayakumarji will be a more authentic or authoritative person having knowledge on this.
No, I have not touched that books and all, except for transcribing something sometimes. Because I
No, but you will know. I mean, as you rightly say, Vichara Sagara, or there are so many Naishkarmi Siddhi or that.
next come message in law.
Granthas. So, but we have not studied all of those things. But then if you study those, then they are all helpful for Manana. They are the Granthas. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hari Om. Thank you. Okay, then we will meet next week. Happy Pongal to all of you once again.
Happy Pongal, Guruji. Thank you.
Happy Pongal, Guruji, and everybody.
Makara Sankranti, everything. Thank you very much.